You. Yeah, you. Do you know what today is? You don't? Well, I'm going to tell you what today is. Today is when we learn about epicness. Today is when we talk about
This Week in Anime!
Hey, Program here, and this is when I'm going to take the time to explain to you what I've been watching this week in anime. And this episode is talking about Kamisama no inai nichiyoubi, episode 4. Before we get into anything else though, I do want to say I am deeply sorry for how long it took to post and edit and finish the last episode, episode 3 of Kamisama. And I just want to explain a little bit why, no excuses, but I'm just saying, I actually, if you haven't noticed by the last video's quality versus this one, I was using Bill's camera, Reploid Bill, and he has a 1080i camera. This is standard definition. So I figured out that my laptop can't edit that to save its life. It can't. It's crappy, completely shit, and I need a new one. And that being said, I also don't have Vegas Pro, which is why it's a lot more simplistic to, to edit on his laptop versus, mine. So what I am promising you that, as soon as I can, I am saving up the money to get a better laptop, a better desktop, so that way I can start editing videos more, and I can sometimes start using Bills so I can have better quality for skits and things like that. So yeah, that's pretty much a basis of why that wasn't out when it was supposed to be. So again, I am deeply sorry. And now I want to get into the episode. Kamisama no inai nichiyoubi. You did it again. You impressed me. Last week, in the last episode, when I was talking to Bill, I kind of, went over the fact that the manga is now behind the anime. So I was really deeply worried about the quality of the next episodes to come, wondering if there would be fillers or if it wouldn't be as impactful as it has been in the last 3 episodes, because every episode's just gotten progressively better, and I've been stoked every single week to watch the anime. And now on Sunday, midnight, waiting for the episode to come out. Had to wait a little bit longer. It took a little bit more time to have it subtitled. But anyway, I was sitting there waiting, and I'm just like, no, I don't want it to be bad. I don't want it to be bad. But I was greatly surprised. And I also want to say that damn counter. I'm not going to say ums today. I'm going to defeat it. Wait, no. That didn't count. I wasn't saying because I was doing on it. Hey, no, that one does not. Whatever. Choose all that's going to happen. Anyway, so I want to get into the story plot of what happened in this episode. So it starts with them, Scar, Yuri, and I in a minibus, which I'm sure they found somewhere, and they're just traveling away from the village. And during that time, they end up finding a kid in the back of the minibus, and he says, they find out his name is Kuriko. He was drugged by thieves. And they also find out that he is an apprentice, a governmental apprentice for the city of Ortus, O-R-T-U-S. Again, I'm really hoping I'm not saying these names incredibly wrong. But anyway, they find out that he's a governmental apprentice for a town, and that city is the city of the undead. It's a huge country of like 1 million plus souls, and they're all dead, undead, not alive anymore. So that's really interesting to me. But anyway, so they find out that he needs to go back, and then their bus breaks down, their minibus, the minivan. So then they all, decide that they're going to go to Ortus and fix the minivan. And then goes into a huge thing, which we're going to talk about later, where she wants to see the city. She wants to be admitted. So somehow, she's able to get in, so they all go into the city of the undead. And the end of the episode is kind of, them, Yuri fixing the minibus, and them just, exploring the city, and this is how the new story arc's gonna start. So it was pretty much just it was an episode to set up future episodes, the beginning of the story arc. So there wasn't much action or any, crazy over-the-top stuff, but it was just more setting up the next episodes. That being said, I did greatly enjoy it. It's still moving, it's still progressing, And what I'm thinking is going on is they're taking the story from the light novels. Because as I said in episode 2, this is based off of a light novel that was made into a manga that then Madhouse brought into an anime. So I really wish I was able to read the light novel. If anyone out there knows a way to get it from Japanese to English, please let me know. I spent hours trying to find the light novel interpretation in English translated, but I can't. Really want to read it. So if anyone knows, please let me know and send a link in the description below. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that happened in this episode. The only two other things is at the very end, there's a lion masked dude that runs in the eye when Ai's running around the city when Yuri told him not to, but it's Ai. And yeah, he pretty much warned her, saying that you don't know the dark side of Ortis, and you need to leave now. And then there was also a scene with Kuriko talking to the princess, and he said that what you're doing, princess, is going to save the world. You will be the savior of this world. And that's kind of, I believe, most likely setting up the next episode. So I'm really interested, but that was the general outline, and now let's get into the nitty-gritty and discussions of this episode. Okay, so I want to start with character developments. It is episode 4, and I want to, talk about how all the main characters are developing, because there is a lot going on. So I want to start with Ai. Last episode, a lot happened to her. She found out that Kazuna is her dad, found out who her dad was, and he died. And the way she was describing in the bus to Kuriko was that they were going on a journey to save the world that got abandoned. And she decided 3 days ago, and that's kind of what she did when she was burying her dad. So I think that, it's been 3 days, and she's just really mellow about it. She's not crying or grieving like a normal person would. She has that gravekeeper side of her, like Scar. And I thought that was really fascinating. And there was also the part with when they were going into the city, he wanted to actually go to the part where humans weren't allowed, alive people, where the dead roamed, because it's the city of the dead. And Yuri was like, no, don't do that. Really, if they find out you and Scar are gravekeepers, they're going to kill you, especially since you're half human, half gravekeeper. She didn't care. She wanted to see it. And the reason why is because of Hannah, and that was her dream, to have a country full of dead people where they can live like heaven on earth. And she wanted to see that. She was hell-bent on doing so, and she got her wish. So I really like Ai. It seems like she's developing great, and the more it progresses and the more she gets comfortable with seeing the outside world and what's going on, I think she's going to actually try to make a change, and I just love her character. And then we can go into Scar for a second. Scar is really interesting. In this episode, she's hearing a voice, and I don't know what the voice is, but that's intriguing me. I'm curious to know what's going on with that. And, just like what Humphrey Kazuna was talking about before, gravekeepers don't really have emotions, and you're seeing that a lot with Scar. When emotions do arise, because she is technically human, I believe, in a way. It seems like, she gets confused, and she doesn't know why that emotion's happening, so she's just freaking out in a way, with the whole uneasiness and the headache and the nausea because of this voice. She's afraid, and she doesn't know how to control that. She's like a Vulcan, kind of, but a Vulcan that's able to have emotions, but they're not used to it. So yeah, that's pretty much her, and then we have Yuri. And Yuri seems to be really protective of Ai. He's worried about her, and Scar as well. He seems he wants the better good to, come out in the world. And I do like his character. He's very noble. And those are pretty much the main characters. And then we learned about technically three new characters. And you'll understand when I talk about it. But Kuriko, he's very mysterious. We don't learn much about him besides he's, governmental rank in Ortus. I don't know if he's dead or alive. They never really described that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing him more. It seems like he's going to be a big part of the series. And also, I think one of my favorite characters so far, just side character, is Fox and Rex. And yes, Fox and Rex is one person. Half male, half female. I thought that was freaking awesome. One half is Fox and the other half is Rex. And everyone sees them as monsters, even undead. And it was cool how I, treated them, because I said hi to Rex and then shook the other side of the person to say hi to Fox as well. And she was like I told my dad, you can't refer to yourself as a monster. So that's another part of the I that I thought was cool. So that's character development. Now I want to go into a little bit more of the story plot lines that happened, and I want to discuss those a bit. So this was, like I said, a foundation episode for the new story arc. Not sure how long, and this story arc is called Ortis. So all about the city of the dead. And let's talk about the city for a second. That's one thing I was really excited about, is learning how the society works in a whole. Right now, all we know about the society is this city, this country, if you will. It's a country of 1 million undead people. And the way Kuriko was describing it is a lot of the undead were afraid of gravekeepers. They didn't want to die. They didn't want to be killed. They enjoyed living. They're not like normal zombies that you see in, a normal American zombie flick. They're not. They're just, they're still humans. They still have functioning brains. They can think just like we can. They just can't die. Well, they're dead. And they start deteriorating in a way. So, they wanted to have a city away from gravekeepers. And you notice that at the beginning of them going into the country, you see all the gravekeeper shovels it's kind of like a graveyard kind of for gravekeepers, and that's their way of saying, hey, gravekeepers, if you come here, you're gonna die. And there was a lot of them, at least 100, I would imagine. And that would kind of worry me. I'm like, I'm good. I smell dead, and I want to bury them, but I'm good on all that. I'm gonna go find a little village. So yeah, that's pretty much, that's one of those things that it intrigues me. I think it's gonna set up like a war against the dead and dead and humans, because you have the humans who don't like the dead and they know that's gonna happen to them, so they're uneasy about it. Then you have gravekeepers that probably are more in the living societies, and maybe some living people hate the gravekeepers because they know they're gonna be enemies later on in the future. And then you have the undead societies that would do whatever it takes to stay alive, including killing gravekeepers. So I think that's going to be cool, as it progresses. But a little bit more about Ortis in general. When I was running around, when Yuri told her not to, she wanted to see Hannah's dream come to life, and she wanted to see what it looks like. And you see a lot of people. She's running around at night in a street that you're supposed to, like the one housekeeper person said it's a really fun place to go. There's a lot of people, and every single person, which I want to mention, has a mask. They're all wearing masks, and it doesn't seem like a lot of their body parts are showing, and I'm thinking it's because they're decomposing. So I wonder how bad it smells. There's no, unless they wear a lot of perfume and stuff, I'm not sure. But yeah, it's like they're all wearing masks and they're just living normally, and it seems like a nice place, and I's really enjoying it. And then we go into the very end scene when the dude in the lion's mask told I, you don't know the dark side. So I'm wondering, with Humphrey's classification of the undead, you start becoming really selfish and you're becoming like a monster. You can have your head half blown off and you're still alive. I'm wondering if that's what he's talking about with the dark side. I don't know yet. Seems like the next episode's going to go more into that in depth. And just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Oh, and also when they were going into the town or into the country of Ortis, I see the statue of a woman, and she asked Kuriko, "Who is that?" And he said, "That's our goddess. It's called. Her name is Koro Solohake, I believe. I'd be butchering that name horrible." But I thought that was cool because that shows that the undead have their own goddess, their own religion, that might also play a part of everything. Maybe even the mask, I'm not sure. But she has the power to wield death. And she was an unwritten and unknown of goddess, but she's the only guardian of death. And they call her a kind goddess, which makes it kind of ironic. Only undead would think a guardian of death is a kind god, kind goddess. And yeah, it was more like, Ortis is not written in any of the history books, and they wanted a goddess that was like that. So I thought that was unique. That's another, concept. I really do like that they're going into the governmental society part and aspect of it, and not just staying with the characters, but more of the universe that they live in. I really enjoy that. And the one other thing I wanted to talk about is Princess Ula. And Kuriko is talking to Ula at the very end, saying that your plan and what you're going to do might save the world. And that you will be the savior of this universe. I love that. And also wanted to mention when he was drugged and he first woke up in the minibus, he does refer to I as the princess. So I wonder, and that's what she wants to do, is save the universe. I wonder if they are connected in a way. I'm not sure. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I have, I can talk about what we got in this episode. If there's anything else that I missed or anything that you want to add to in the comments, please, comment to me. And if someone leaves a comment that, I want to mention, I will I will talk about it in the next episode. Or I might make a separate, really short episode, just commenting on your comments. So anyway, because I want to make this, very user-friendly, making it so I listen to you guys and I want to involve you as much as humanly possible. Because that's what this is. This is discussing the episodes as they come out. And again, I do apologize for not coming out as soon as I would like them to. I would try to improve that, but at least, midweek you have some more Kamisama or more Gachimon or whatever else I'm going to start reviewing. So yeah, that's pretty much the episode. And if you see, this is a new background. We've had every single episode was a different place. And this is actually my room. This is where I live. So I'm going to start probably posting, airing and shooting most of my videos here. So hopefully it doesn't change too much for people who hate change. Anyway, yep, that was this episode. Go check out my other stuff, or if you're bored, ReploidProductions, we have many videos to keep you occupied. And comment, like, subscribe, and until then, see you next week.